Ever felt like you're constantly looking for files and losing track of tasks? The average person wastes 2.5 hours a day searching for information. Imagine the impact this has on TCs or virtual assistants' productivity. What organization means to you and your clients? I wanted to truly start analyzing what's the impact that organization has in your business, besides the obvious, right? Everyone knows that being organized is such a perk, a great skill to have, especially if you are a TC or a virtual assistant in general. However, have you ever thought about it? For example, let's discuss peace of mind. Have you ever tried to link both of them? How being organized is giving you peace of mind? I can definitely function in busy and messy environments. However, I like control chaos, right? It's a difference because, I noticed that when things are not really as organized as they're supposed to be, I tend to get frustrated more easily. But also I lose my patience when I have to search for things longer than I'm supposed to, because I know that I could potentially do better. So all these type of things take my peace of mind, and that's not the way I like to work or run my business. Another thing that I believe not everyone can link together is being organized with being confident. And a lot of you aspiring TCs have shared with me that you feel a lack of confidence when trying to launch your business. And the reason being is because you don't know what to expect. You feel like you're not ready. You feel like you don't have all the assets that you're supposed to have in order to run your business. Putting that in other words, you are not in full control. Now, when you have everything ready, when you know where to find every single things that you might need in order to run your business or help client, then you are in control. You know what to expect. You know you're capable of, and that boosts your confidence. Another one is efficiency. Being organized saves time and increases productivity. Being efficient and being able to increase productivity is essential for any TC or virtual assistant out there trying to grow their business. In talking about growing your business, scalability, definitely. An organized transaction coordinator can grow and scale more effectively. The other one is professionalism, especially if you're independent. If you're an independent TC or an independent real estate virtual assistant, in order for you to charge a premium and build your reputation, you need to be well organized. One of my favorites is decision making. And when you are organized, when you have a system in place, that reduces the decision fatigue and improves the decision making process in general. And last but not least is client satisfaction. And let me give you a quick example that just happened a couple of days ago. I do transaction coordination for a team. And one of the realtors that used to be part of the team left already, contacted me and said, XYZ client is looking to have a copy of the final alta or final closing statement for tax purposes. And I'm like, sure, which property? And he's like, I don't remember the exact address, but the street name is whatever. So he gave me the street address. While I was on the phone with him, I typed it, found the file, grabbed the alta, put it on an email, send it to the client, copy him before he even hung up with me. So as you can imagine, he loves me. And the client loves him. Think about it. He got his request taken care of in a matter of minutes. That's client satisfaction. And that is totally related with organization. If I didn't know where to find my files, if I didn't have any type of structure for my transactions, that could take me forever to find that file or to find what was the actual address because he didn't remember. So that's the power of organization. On the other hand, if you're not organized, well, you risk to make more mistakes. And not just that, but people will tell you all the time what to do because you are reactive instead of proactive. You will have to wait for people to tell you what to do because you don't have an organization. You don't know what comes next. You might always be late for meetings because you don't handle your calendar in a very effective way. Or maybe you're ready for the meeting, but you don't know where you put your Zoom link. Overall, this has a very negative impact, not just in your business, but in your stress levels, which have the potential to affect your personal life, even your health. So what are the steps you can take in order to organize your business? Well, everything starts with understanding. And so the first thing that you should know is what is going on in your business. What's your weakness? So conduct an audit. Identify the areas that are the most disorganized and start from there. Maybe it is just the computer files. Maybe it is that you have actually a lot of things still in paper and they're all over the place. Maybe it is your G drive that you just dump everything there and good luck trying to find something. Maybe you have a task management system, but you really are not taking full advantage of it and you are just operating, well, with a messy system. Or maybe it's just your Canva. God knows that that can get disorganized. I was actually taking a course not too long ago about organization. And the person who was teaching the course was recommending to sort things out into two big boxes or categories. One for business and one for personal. And that makes sense because as transaction coordinators or virtual assistants, we work from home. And we don't have one computer at the office and one computer for personal use. In most of the cases, we use the same type of equipment, the same computer for both. So it is very normal that in your computer desktop, you have files that are personal and files that are business related. So that can be dangerous. You can make a mistake and attach the wrong thing and kind of send your clients a picture that you didn't want to show them. So make sure you separate everything clearly into business and personal. My second recommendation is that you leave the personal for a later time and you attack the business file so you can start getting organized in your business. Now, I am also aware that it's difficult to just put aside a whole day to just do that, either because you don't have the time or even if you do have the time, it's not exactly the most fun plan for the weekend. However, take it slowly, but make progress. Make sure that from now on, everything has to go through the filter. So every time you save something in your computer, you have to go through that very simple sorting process, personal or business. That way the mess doesn't keep growing, right? Now the next step is, in my opinion, to keep sorting things out and cleaning up the mess as much as you can. So you will create subfolders. And from the course that I was taking, that person that has a lot of experience in organizing everything from offices, houses, and files was just explaining that normally you don't need like 25 million subfolders. Keep it simple, no more than 5. And we are talking about the business side. With 5 subfolders, you should be able to cover the totality of your business. And those folders are for admin or operations. You can use one for marketing. You can use another one for clients. You can use another one for continuing education. And you can use another one for assets or content that you create. So for example, inside of admin or operations or whatever name you prefer to give it, you can have other subfolders that probably include receipts or bookkeeping or taxes or whatever, applies to your own business. Then under clients, well, you might decide to organize it by name. And under each name, you might have a different type of information included, again, as another subfolder. For continuing education, nowadays we have free courses and free access to information, and it could be overwhelming. I don't know about you, but I love to sign up for every single course in, secret that everyone offers. And I get a lot of information, valuable information from that. And sometimes, I want to keep it, but it could get a little bit out of hand. Now, the other one is for content or assets. I personally like to call them assets. And, as business owners, we are responsible for, promoting ourselves and creating these things that we either use to offer to clients. For example, in my business, I offer to certain clients some marketing materials for open houses or for just sold or for just listed. And most of them are just templates. So those to me are assets, but those are not necessarily something that I will put under marketing because those are not for my own promotion. So as you can see, assets or content might be different from marketing. In marketing, you might include everything that is related with ads you are running, for example, and modify as you need based on your own business model, idea, and operation. However, one tip that I think that is absolutely important is to pay attention and create a really good system for naming convention. And naming convention is actually the way that you're going to name your files, your folders, and it gotta have a structure, right? That way it's going to make it easier for you to find this information in your computer. Now, this is just the beginning, and that requires maintenance. Okay, it's not something that you do today and you forget about it. Well, kind of, right? I mean, now you're going to have the structure, you're going to have a system in place. So all you need to do is to kind of sort things out, filter them, and put them in the right places. But what I mean is that you will always have to get into the habit of decluttering, for example. If there are things that are not necessary, delete them. Don't keep things just because. It is a good practice, at least for me. I'm a visual person, so at the end of the day, I like my desk to be clean and have absolutely nothing on it other than my keyboard, my mouse, and other things that I use. So if I have sticky notes or if I have a piece of paper with a note or something like that, that shouldn't be there at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, I love sticky notes and notebooks. So what I do, yes, I have it handy, but it couldn't be left in my desk for days. There is no point because I have a system in my computer in order to be able to set reminders for myself. So again, personally, I try to stay away from pen and paper. What I use instead is a task management application, for example, Asana or Trello or ClickUp. And I have lists for a lot of things. So it is organized. The point is that you can check off the tasks and it remains super organized and you know where to find everything in categories. So take advantage of these free tools that can make your life easier and more organized. All these will help you stay more in control and start experiencing more peace of mind. Another two huge items that are absolutely essential for you to be able to remain organized are your calendar and your inbox. However, these are huge topics that deserve their own video. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.